At first, it looked like just another normal day. People were going about their lives without any idea that something was about to go terribly wrong.
Who's outside?
The police.
What are they trying to do?
They trying to kill us. I can put this on.
Okay, we got action.
22 years old and still a virgin. I've never even kissed a girl. You forced me to suffer all my life, and now I'll make you all suffer.
And somehow, what you're seeing right now is not even the most disturbing part of this video. Because the final case is the one that makes this entire list so hard to forget.
엄마한테 전화해볼까? 아, 기울어졌어! 엄마 사랑해요. 나도 아빠 사랑해.
But before you're about to see that, let's start with the first disturbing moment caught on camera. The person with the least control over what happened inside this apartment was the 5-year-old boy sitting beside his armed mother. But as the police waited outside, Korryn Gaines turned the camera toward her son and asked him a question no child should ever have been forced to answer.
What's happening right now? Who's outside?
The police.
What are they trying to do?
They trying to kill us. I can put this on.
On August 1st, 2016, Baltimore County Police arrived at the home of 23-year-old Korryn Gaines to serve an arrest warrant after she had failed to appear in court over charges connected to a traffic stop. They also had a separate warrant for her boyfriend, Kareem Courtney, relating to an assault allegation. When nobody opened the door, officers obtained a key from the landlord and entered the apartment. Inside, they found Gaines sitting with a loaded shotgun while her 5-year-old son, Cody, remained close beside her. Gaines refused to surrender and began broadcasting parts of the confrontation on social media.
This is for anybody who want to know what I'm doing. But the devil at my door, and he's refusing to leave.
You and I are going to talk until we come to an agreement. We bring everybody out safe, and you and I go have a sit down. Because you know, and I know that this ain't right.
It's not. I ain't trying to hurt nobody. I've never hurt anybody. We've been quiet a while, so they plotting to come in here and disturb the peace here. They've already disturbed the peace. I'm not a criminal. What's happening right now? Who's outside?
The police.
And what are they trying to do? It's charging. What are they trying to do?
They trying to kill us.
I'm sorry, dear, I can hear you. You said no?
It's good. Do you want to go out there?
No.
Oh. Okay. What do you want to do?
This.
There's no wrong answer. What do you want to do?
During the live stream, Gaines presented the officers as intruders who had arrived to harm her family. She spoke directly to the camera, insisting that she was not a criminal and that the police were disturbing the peace inside her home. Then she involved Cody. Gaines asked him who was outside and what they were trying to do. The 5-year-old responded that the police were trying to kill them. At another point, she asked whether he wanted to go outside. Cody said no. To anyone watching, the exchange may have sounded like the child was being given a choice. But he was 5 years old, trapped inside an armed police standoff, and relying entirely on his mother to explain what was happening around him. Courtney had already left the apartment with their 1-year-old child. Cody remained behind. For approximately 6 hours, officers attempted to convince Gaines to put down the shotgun and allow her son to leave safely. At times, she appeared willing to negotiate. At others, police said she threatened to kill officers if they entered. The standoff ended when Corporal Royce Ruby said he saw Gaines begin raising the shotgun toward the officers. Ruby fired through the kitchen wall. Gaines then fired the shotgun, and officers returned fire several more times. Gaines was killed. Cody was also struck by gunfire, but survived. Prosecutors later concluded that Ruby had acted in self-defense and declined to bring criminal charges against him. A civil jury initially awarded Gaines's family more than $38 million, with most of the money intended for Cody. But the verdict became the subject of years of appeals and was largely overturned. Gaines's estate later reached a separate $3 million settlement with Baltimore County, while further claims involving Cody continued through the courts. None of that could undo what the live stream had already preserved. Gaines began broadcasting because she wanted the outside world to see the confrontation through her eyes. But the most disturbing part of the footage was not the argument between her and the police. It was the voice of a 5-year-old boy trying to understand a situation no child should have been placed inside, moments before the gunfire killed his mother and left him wounded. And that takes us to the next live stream that no one should have ever seen. For years, Elliot Rodger recorded himself blaming women, couples, and eventually the entire world for a life that had not developed the way he believed he deserved. Then his final upload revealed that the resentment was no longer limited to angry videos. He had already decided that innocent people would be punished for it.
I'm 22 years old, and I'm still a virgin. I've never even kissed a girl. You forced me to suffer all my life, and now I'll make you all suffer. You denied me a happy life. You deprived me of sex, and I will take great pleasure in denying you life.
The 22-year-old lived in Isla Vista, California, near the University of California, Santa Barbara. Rodger attended Santa Barbara City College, but had largely withdrawn from classes and social contact. Online, however, he spoke constantly. He uploaded carefully staged videos in which he described himself as intelligent, sophisticated, and superior to the people around him. At the same time, he expressed intense hatred toward women for rejecting him and toward men who had the relationships he wanted.
I've been doing a lot of thinking about how sad and unfair my life has been, all because girls haven't been attracted to me. Ever since I hit puberty, I've wanted girls, I've desired girls, I've been sexually attracted to girls, but they've never shown any attraction back to me. This world, it's so twisted. It's so cruel. And you girls make it cruel. You girls have starved me of and enjoyment and pleasure for my entire youth. You've taken 8 years away from my life. 8 years I'll never get back.
Rodger interpreted almost every couple he encountered as a personal attack. When he saw a man and woman together at a park, restaurant, or beach, he did not view them as strangers living their own lives. He convinced himself that they were displaying their happiness specifically to humiliate him. He rarely considered that his bitterness, entitlement, and increasingly disturbing behavior may have been the reasons people avoided him. Instead, every rejection became evidence that the entire world had wronged him.
This is my usual sunset spot, mainly because there's rarely any young couples here that I would get jealous of. I'm so angry right now. I was enjoying a peaceful time at this beach park, and what comes to sit in front of me? A young couple, a guy with his hot girlfriend. I mean, who do they think they are? Coming here, sitting in front of me to make me feel jealous? This is the reason why I hate the world. This is getting too out of hand. I can't go anywhere anymore without seeing these young couples getting jealous and, having them remind me of what I'm lacking in life.
Over time, his videos became more openly threatening. Rodger stopped speaking only about loneliness and began describing revenge against women who had never met him. as well as men whose lives he envied. In his final uploaded video, he announced that the following day would become his day of retribution. He framed himself as the victim while explaining that he planned to murder people whose only supposed crime was having something he wanted.
The girls are not attracted to me. There's a major problem with that. A major problem. That's a problem that I intend to rectify. I will not let this fly. It's an injustice that needs to be dealt with. Well, this is my last video. It all has to come to this. Tomorrow is the day of retribution. The day in which I will have my revenge against humanity, against all of you.
On May 23, 2014, Rodger began the attack inside his apartment, where he stabbed his 2 roommates and a visiting friend to death. He later drove to the Alpha Phi sorority house. After nobody opened the door, he shot 3 women standing nearby, killing 2 of them. Rodger then continued through Isla Vista, shooting people from his car and deliberately striking others with the vehicle. At the Isla Vista Deli Mart, he fatally shot another student. By the time police caught up with him, Rodger had murdered 6 people and injured 14 others. After exchanging gunfire with officers and crashing his car, he died from a self-inflicted gunshot wound. The families of the 3 men killed inside the apartment later pursued legal action against several parties, including the apartment's management company. Reports connected the case to a settlement exceeding $20 million, although its precise terms were kept confidential. It was not simply a payment from the police department over the earlier welfare check, as the original script suggested. Rodger spent years convincing himself that women had deprived him of a life he was owed. But the videos reveal something very different. He was not ignored because the world had conspired against him. He was consumed by entitlement, incapable of viewing other people as individuals, and unwilling to accept that rejection did not make anyone responsible for his unhappiness. His final recording was meant to explain his actions. Instead, it showed how thoroughly he had transformed his own resentment into permission to destroy innocent lives. But if you thought ignoring police warnings was dangerous, the next live stream shows what can happen when threats from viewers are ignored as well.
Okay, we got action. We got action.
Threats were being posted directly beneath his live stream. And instead of ending the broadcast or going inside, Terrell Smith continued arguing with the people who claimed they were already on their way to his home. On June 28, 2022, the 46-year-old Facebook personality was live streaming from his home in Ypsilanti Township, Michigan. Terrell was locally known for his blunt and often confrontational videos. But shortly before his death, he had shared a clip showing a younger man being knocked unconscious and added a caption mocking him. The post angered the man's friends and relatives. Soon, people began entering Terrell's Facebook Live, threatening both him and his mother. They made it clear that they knew where he lived and claimed that they were coming to confront him.
They just woke me up, told me real. Somebody looking for you. Shout out to Day Day. He finally woke up 2 weeks later. Shout out to Day Day. Now, shout out, I'm just giving a shout out. Shout out to Day Day. He just got woke up. He said, I'm the first on his agenda for this and that. I don't get it. What's up, Bucci? Why these just don't never go for the that knock you the fuck out? Why everybody come for me? Like, it ain't, you can't win in this when it come to me. Then you talk about you gonna slap my mama, you gonna slap my people, you gonna do this. Good morning, Miss Lee. You gonna do this, you gonna do that. Man, get the you ain't gonna do nothing. You ain't gonna do a motherfucking thing. Why these I know who your mom is and I know who your daddy is. Like on some real shit. I grew up with your daddy, I grew up with your mama. Somebody go put daddy back to sleep. I don't know who woke him up on some bullshit. Y'all be worried about the wrong thing. Y'all be worried about coming for me. Go for the knock you out. That's Like, go for the get the back that knocked you out first. When you get the back that knocked you out, then you can be like, Rail, I'm coming for you. I shouldn't be the first on the agenda. The first on the agenda should be the nigga to knock Day out. Slap Day under that Jeep.
Terrell did not appear to believe they would actually follow through. He continued insulting them, laughing at their threats and challenging them to arrive. Thousands of people watched as what had begun as online trash talk became increasingly serious. At any point, Terrell could have ended the stream, remained inside and contacted police. Instead, he walked outside and waited. Then, after noticing movement near the property, he looked toward the camera and announced, "Okay, we got action."
From the ghetto, it's a ghetto everywhere. It's an Ipsy everywhere. It's just motherfuckers in Ipsy get knocked the fuck out. Okay, we got action. We got action.
A vehicle had arrived, and more than 30 shots were fired toward the house. The attack itself was not clearly visible on camera, but the gunfire and the panic surrounding it were captured by the live stream. Terrell was struck multiple times. Emergency workers transported him to a hospital, but he died from his injuries. Before Facebook removed the video, it had already been watched and shared thousands of times. Over the following months, investigators arrested 5 people believed to have been connected to the attack. But the most disturbing part of the footage remains how much warning Terrell received. The people threatening him did not hide what they intended to do. They said it directly in front of everyone watching. Yet the live stream appeared to make the situation feel less real, not more. Terrell believed he was about to capture another online confrontation for his audience. Instead, the moment he described as action became the final event he would ever broadcast. But not every disturbing live stream begins with an obvious threat. Sometimes it starts with someone doing something stupid for attention. This next live stream began with a driver performing a dangerous stunt for his TikTok audience, apparently believing that the arrival of a police officer would simply give him more entertaining content.
It's all because of this app. I'm the king of the app now. Can you spell Mississippi backwards?
If I take some time about it.
No, not spell supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. Come on, TikTok family.
On November 30th, 2020, an officer stopped a driver after seeing him perform a burnout while live streaming from his car. What should have been a straightforward traffic stop quickly became much stranger. Rather than clearly explaining his actions, the streamer began giving a confusing excuse while continuing to treat the encounter as though it were part of his online performance.
Why did you do a big old Brody
Here, let me show you.
through that intersection?
Let me show it to you.
Are you under the effects of marijuana or just cleaning your
It's
balls?
right here. It's all because of this. It's all because of this. It's all because of this app. I'm the king of the app now. And let me ask you something as an officer. Can you spell Mississippi backwards?
If I take some time about it.
No, it's not about time. Can I ask you, can you spell Mississippi backwards?
IPPISSISSIM.
What?
IPPISSISSIM.
Now spell supercalifragilisticexpialidocious.
I can't do that one.
Why is that?
Wait, spell it the correct way? First name?
My name is ABNER. So if you want to know what the middle initial stand for, it's Demon.
Demon?
Yeah, Demon.
Why would your parents do that?
That's my last name. DEMEMON.
Okay.
Don't wake it up.
I will definitely try not to.
You're waking it up.
Blake with 102. He's got some real 414 issues.
The officer repeatedly attempted to bring the conversation back to the dangerous driving he had just witnessed. But the streamer continued talking around the questions and appeared unable or unwilling to understand how serious the situation had become. Even then, the officer did not immediately arrest him. He stepped away to check the driver's license and personal information, leaving him beside the vehicle while the investigation continued. But as soon as the officer moved away, the streamer climbed back into the car and drove off, transforming a reckless driving stop into an attempt to escape from police. The live stream that had started with a burnout was now capturing a police pursuit, while the driver's original confidence began to disappear. Whatever explanation he had offered no longer mattered. because he had deliberately left the scene while the officer was still investigating him.
You're under arrest. No, I think you're back up. I need back up from me. Okay, don't wait, stop.
Don't wake him up. Don't wake him up. Don't wake him up. It's the fucking air.
I want to get you into custody safely.
Don't wake him up. Don't wake him up.
Abner.
Don't wake him up. Come on, people.
Taser!
You're hurting her.
Taser's off.
You guys,
let me double walk.
you guys, is that app?
I understand the app, Abner. The app's what caused all this for you.
Come on, TikTok family. Help me, yo. TikTok family.
Come on, sir. Let's go.
You guys, why you guys do that? Come on,
Because
guys.
you were under arrest.
The escape did not last. The driver, identified in the original source as Abner, was eventually stopped and arrested. He reportedly faced charges for reckless driving, driving with a suspended license, and resisting arrest. At the beginning of the broadcast, he appeared to believe that every part of the traffic stop could become content for his audience. But once he drove away, the officer was no longer simply another person appearing in his live stream. The pursuit, arrest, and criminal charges were real, even after the camera stopped recording. And that brings us to another live stream that ended in tragedy.
On June 30th, my sister decided to make the only correct choices in episode 1 of season 1 of The Walking Dead games, and for that her face will be mutilated further than necessary.
At first, the recording almost looks too strange to take seriously. But by then, Nicholas Prosper had already spent close to a year preparing to turn those rehearsals into reality. Prosper lived with his mother, 48-year-old Juliana Falcon, his 16-year-old brother Kyle, and his 13-year-old sister Giselle in Luton, England. After leaving school, he had become increasingly isolated and obsessed with mass shootings. He studied previous attackers, collected violent material, and became fixated on Adam Lanza, the gunman responsible for the Sandy Hook Elementary School massacre. But Prosper did not simply want to copy him. He wanted to surpass him. His plan was to kill 34 people, beginning with his own family, before continuing to the primary school he had once attended. For months, Prosper researched the building, studied its schedule, and prepared clothing he wanted to wear during the attack. He also forged a firearm certificate and used it to purchase a shotgun and around 100 cartridges from a private seller. The weapon was delivered to the car park outside his family's home on September 12, 2024. Less than 24 hours later, Prosper intended to kill his mother, brother, and sister while they slept. He would then leave for the school in time to target children and teachers during the morning. And most of the videos he recorded before that day showed just how disconnected his thinking had become. In one recording, Prosper spoke calmly about what he intended to do to his younger sister because of a decision she had made while playing The Walking Dead.
On June 30th, my sister decided to make the only correct choices in episode 1 of season 1 of The Walking Dead games, and for that her face will be mutilated further than necessary.
He had developed an obsession with the character Clementine and treated his sister's choices inside the game as though they were a personal betrayal. The statement sounded completely irrational. But what happened the following morning proved that the threats he recorded were not simply an online performance. In the early hours of September 13th, Prosper fired a test shot inside the family home. The sound woke his mother earlier than he had planned. When Juliana realized her son had a gun, she confronted him. Kyle and Giselle also woke up, and the family attempted to fight back. Prosper then murdered all three of them. The struggle created enough noise to alert a neighbor who repeatedly knocked on the door before contacting police. Because his family had resisted, Prosper's carefully planned schedule had fallen apart. Instead of leaving unnoticed at the exact time he had intended, he fled the apartment several hours before the school was due to open. He carried the loaded shotgun and additional ammunition with him, but eventually hid the weapon inside some bushes. After remaining hidden for more than 2 hours, Prosper walked toward a nearby road, where officers noticed him and placed him under arrest.
Okay, you'd like to say anything, but it may harm your defence if you do not mention, when questioned, subject to today's trial in court. Anything you do say may be given as evidence.
We'd like to tell you about any involvement that you've had with them at all in their murders.
No comments.
Did you kill them?
No comments.
Police got called there to a disturbance and found your mum, brother and sister dead. Explain to me what happened.
No comments.
Did you kill your mum, brother and sister?
No comments.
Is it your shotgun?
No comments.
Is that the shotgun that was used to kill your mum and your brother and sister?
No comments.
When police got there and found your mum, your brother and your sister, on your mum, or right next to her, is a book called How to Kill Your Family. Have you ever seen a book with a cover like that at your home address?
No comments.
Did it belong to you?
No comments.
Or did it belong to someone else living there?
No comments.
Have you got any mental health issues?
No comments.
Do you receive any treatment for any mental health issues?
No comments.
Have you been diagnosed with any neurodiversity or mental health issues?
No comments.
Or do you think you've got any mental health issues but they've been undiagnosed?
No comments.
As you saw, during his police interview, Prosper responded to almost every question with the same 2 words: no comment. But investigators no longer needed him to explain what he had intended to do. His computer, recorded videos, forged documents, internet history, and written plans revealed the scale of the attack he had been preparing. The evidence showed that killing his family had only been the first stage of a much larger plan. And on February 24th, 2025, Prosper pleaded guilty to murdering Juliana, Kyle, and Giselle, illegally obtaining the shotgun, possessing it with the intent to endanger life, and carrying a bladed weapon. He was later given 3 life sentences and ordered to serve a minimum of 49 years before he could even be considered for release. But the most unsettling part of the case is how close his plan came to continuing beyond his family's home. Had Juliana, Kyle, and Giselle not woken up and attempted to stop him, Prosper may have arrived at the school exactly when he intended. Their final actions could not save their own lives. But by disrupting his plan and alerting the people around them, they may have saved dozens of children who never realized how close they came to becoming his next victims. And as disturbing as the previous ones were, this final case is even harder to forget because hundreds of children did exactly what they were told and never made it home.
지금 이 상황은 지금 기울어지고 있습니다. 으아, 나 되게 싫어. 아, 진짜 무더러운 진짜 우리 나가야 돼요. 엄마한테 전화해볼까? 아, 기울어졌어. 엄마 사랑해요. 나도 하나만. 아빠 사랑해요. 둘 다 사랑해요.
On April 16th, 2014, the MV Sewol departed from Incheon, South Korea, carrying 476 people toward Jeju Island. More than 300 of those passengers were high school students traveling together on a school trip. For most of them, the journey began like any other. But within hours, the ferry would be lying on its side in the Yellow Sea, while hundreds of passengers remained trapped inside.
코드 블루 레드, 코드 블루 레드. 이거 보이시죠? 지금 60도예요. 각도가 얘 앉아 있는 거 보이시죠? 얘는 지금 정자세로 앉아 있는데 이게 60도. 보이죠? 나 무섭다 진짜. 나 이거 어떡하냐. 나 무서워. 나 살고 싶.
The voyage remained uneventful through the night. But the following morning, the Sewol made a sudden turn while passing through a dangerous stretch of water. The ferry had been modified to carry more passengers and cargo, leaving it dangerously top-heavy. It was also carrying far more cargo than it was designed to handle, much of which had not been properly secured. When the ship turned, that cargo shifted violently to one side. The seawall began to lean. At first, passengers believed the movement was temporary. But as furniture slid across rooms and people were thrown against walls, it became clear that the ship was not correcting itself. It was continuing to tip.
뒤지기 싫어요. 지금 이 상황은 지금 기울어지고 있습니다. 나 뒤지기 싫어. 아싸, 무도란 진짜 우리 나가야 돼요. 엄마한테 전화해볼까? 기울어졌어. 진짜 침수되는 거 아니야? 돌리는 거 장난 아니야. 여기 좀 돌려. 내리고 싶어. 진짜 진심이야. 우리 뒤지기 싫다고. 아니 뒤져도.
Students began calling emergency services themselves, telling operators that their ferry was sinking. Yet instead of immediately ordering everyone to evacuate, the crew made a decision that would later become one of the most condemned parts of the disaster. Over the public address system, passengers were repeatedly told to remain where they were, put on their life jackets, and wait for further instructions. Even as the floors became walls and water began entering the ferry, the announcements continued. Stay where you are. Do not move. Help is coming.
더 기울어진다고? 장난? 이게 뭔 상황인지 모르겠어. 구명조끼 입으라는 거 침몰되고 있다는 소리 아니야?
10분 동안 여기서 버티랍니다. 이 개자식들 없애버립니다.
야, 저기 그거 좀 열어줘. 여기서 바로 하면 애들 닫았어. 구명조끼 닫았어!
Among the passengers were 325 students and 15 teachers from Danwon High School. The footage from one student's phone showed classmates sitting together in life jackets, trying to remain calm and trusting that the adults in charge knew what they were doing. Some students joked with each other. Others sent messages to their parents, reassuring them that they were safe and would be rescued soon. Most obeyed the order to remain below deck. A smaller number ignored it, climbed toward the outside of the ship, and jumped into the sea, where nearby fishing boats were able to reach them. But hundreds of others continued waiting inside. As the ferry tilted further, the mood inside began to change. The students could feel the ship sinking beneath them. Passageways became impossible to climb. Doors were blocked, and water continued rising through the lower levels. The rescue they had been promised was not arriving. And slowly, the students began to understand that staying where they were may have trapped them inside the ship.
나 진짜 나 웁니다. 나 개무섭습니다 지금. 지금 나 이거 입고 있어요 지금. 무섭다고!
구조대 온다 했잖아.
아니 구조대가 오면 얼마나 위험한 상황이냐고요. 아니 지금 구조대 와도 300명을 어떻게 구합니까? 이거 어떻게 합니까 내가. 진짜 무섭고 난 지금 숨이 턱끝까지 차오르는데 이거 끈 꽉 묶었습니다. 저는 난 살고 싶습니다. 네 마지막으로 진짜 나는 진짜 하고 싶은 게 많은데 와 진짜 나 무서워요 지금. 어떻게 해요? What can I do?
Even then, the announcements continued telling passengers not to move. But while students remained below deck waiting for instructions, the captain and several members of the crew abandoned the ferry. They escaped onto rescue boats without first issuing a clear order for the hundreds of passengers still trapped inside to evacuate. By then, many of the students could no longer reach the upper deck. With the ship filling with water and no clear route out, some began recording final videos and sending messages to their families. They apologized. They said they were scared. And many ended their messages by telling their parents that they loved them.
아이고 슬퍼요. 할머니 아빠 사랑하고 네 누나 참 많이 싸웠는데 참 고맙고 네 형 마지막으로 보고 싶었는데 형 못 보고 가네요. 네.
엄마 사랑해요. 아빠 사랑해요. 둘 다 사랑해요. 우리 김영현 씨 아들이 고맙니다. 이번 일로 죽을 수 있을 것 같으니.
The Sewol took roughly 2.5 hours to disappear beneath the surface. Of the 476 people on board, only 172 survived. In total, 304 people were killed, including 250 students and 11 teachers from Danwon High School. In the hours after the sinking, early reports incorrectly suggested that nearly everyone had been rescued. Families gathered expecting to be reunited with their children, only to realize that hundreds were still missing inside the ship. The disaster caused enormous public outrage across South Korea. The captain and several crew members were later convicted. Investigations exposed illegal modifications, dangerous overloading, poorly secured cargo, and a rescue response filled with failures. But the most haunting evidence was found on the students' phones. The recording showed them calmly wearing their life jackets, reassuring their parents, and waiting for adults to save them. They did exactly what they were told, and for hundreds of them, that trust became the reason they never made it back outside. That's all for today, folks. If you'd like to see more of this creepy content, click on the video on screen.